I'm spending a few weeks in Rome, and I'd love to take you along with me as I explore some of the eternal city's places that inspire me most. For this series, I'll be sharing shorter episodes than usual, little snapshots of what catches my eye and my head here, and how I'll carry those impressions and ideas into my artistic work. This episode is the very first on that special format, and I truly hope you'll enjoy it. As always, my goal is to immerse you in my creative process. So let's begin. In this first episode from Rome, I'm taking you to the National Roman Museum at Palazzo Massimo alle Terme, up to the top floor where some absolutely stunning frescoes are waiting for us. Greeting everyone and a warm welcome to my studio. I'm Alix Morel, a painter and printmaker artist. And in this podcast, we are going to delve deep into the world of art. I'll be sharing my artistic techniques, my sources of inspiration, and occasionally those moments of uncertainty that come with the creative process. Put on your apron and let's get started. So today I wanted to take you to the National Roman Museum to talk about painting and more specifically ancient frescoes. I've always been fascinated by the colors and pigments used in antiquity. In my own artistic process, color plays an essential role. It is just as important as the exploration of form and is a fundamental part of creating a work of art. Whenever I begin researching for a future print, I approach both elements, color and form, simultaneously. To better understand all of this, let me first take you to a reconstructed painted garden from the Villa of Livia, the ruins of which lie along the Via Flaminia. The painted garden from the underground dining room of the Villa of Livia is one of the most refined examples of Roman wall painting from the late Republic and early Augustan period. Covering all four walls, it transformed the space into a lush, illusionistic garden that feels both like a private retreat and a symbol of imperial power. In that room, we are completely immersed in a fictional garden filled with fruit trees, flowers, and small animals. The atmosphere is particularly soothing, yet at the same time slightly surreal. It can even be compared to the ambience of Claude Monet's water lily cycle at the Musée de l'Orangerie in Paris. If you ever had a chance to visit it, you know that in this kind of space, you're truly immersed in color. Returning to the imagined garden of the Villa of Livia, I find this room especially compelling. The staging evokes a sense of calm. Shades of blue and green are brought to life by vivid oranges, soft pinks, and vibrant yellows, which energize the scenes depicted across all four walls of the space. The fresco features at least 24 types of trees and shrubs, painted with remarkable botanical accuracy. You can spot umbrella pines, various types of laurel, rose bushes, and fruit trees, all shown blooming together as if all seasons existed at once. Studies have revealed a palette that includes, notably, malachite to represent the foliage, raw umber for the trunks and stems, Egyptian blue, used pure or mixed, for the sky, and cinnabar and yellow ochre for the fruits and birds. The painter used subtle color changes, cooler tones like blue-green in the shadows and warmer yellow tones where the sunlight hits to mimic how our eyes naturally see light and depth. Some parts of the painting are slightly blurred to make it feel more lifelike, like how we perceive things that are closer or farther away. The gentle twist in the leaves even gives the impression of a light breeze. Altogether, this created an early form of immersive art that not only decorated the underground room, but also made it feel cooler and more refreshing thanks to the use of soothing color. Other details, like the Egyptian date palm, hint at Rome's growing power across the Mediterranean, turning the room into a symbol of the empire's wide reach. I had been wanting to see this symbolistic garden for a long time, and it really lived up to my expectations. Those frescoes from the Villa of Livia are truly impressive. They combine technical skills with scientific knowledge of perspective and pigments. The result is a panoramic scene that feels like a mix between a botanical study, a way to control the atmosphere of the room, and a powerful symbol of the imperial family. I chose to take you into that museum room because it perfectly illustrates the themes that deeply inspire my artistic practice, especially color and its infinite possibilities. The frescoes here are not only visually stunning, but also reveal a fascinating history of ancient pigments and techniques. I've always been curious about how artists in antiquity selected, prepared, and combined colors, and how their methods evolve over time. From natural minerals to complex chemical mixtures, each pigment carried meaning and purpose. Understanding these choices allows us to read the artwork on a deeper level. It's not just about decoration, it's about intention, atmosphere, and storytelling. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, color plays a central role in my own creative process, just as much as form. I never separate the two. They come together from the very first stages. When I begin to imagine a future print, I already see the final result in my mind, precise balance between shapes and tones. This is how I work through a constant dialogue between composition and chromatic harmony. Visiting spaces like this helps me reflect on that process and reconnect with the long, rich tradition of image making through color. Walking through these rooms, I can't help but notice how the fresco breathes with life precisely because of their colors. They guide the eye across the walls, creating movements ever in stillness. This is something I try to capture in my own work. The ability of color to suggest a story before a single line is read. It's fascinating to think that centuries ago, artists were already experimenting with the same principle that continue to shape our visual language today. For me, this continuity is both humbling and energizing. It reminds me that I am a part of a much larger conversation, one that stretches far beyond my own studio. And in that sense, every visit to a place like this is not just about admiration. It's about learning, listening, and carrying those lessons forward into my practice. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this immersive journey into Livia's garden and that it has provided a fresh perspective on both contemporary creation and the history of art. Please leave your comments below, and if you'd like to explore my work, let's connect on Instagram at alixmorelartiste or visit my website alixmorel.com. And in the next episode, I'll take you on another visit in Rome. See you soon!